The football's on, and let's face it, we're all drinking a lot more beer. But what's the best fridge filler that you can get from the supermarket? Low cost, 4 cans for £5 maybe. Well, fancy trying this one. This is a Brewdog Duopolis, and it is an oat cream double dry hopped IPA. 4 of these little bad boys for £5. But what's it going to be like? Keep on watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today we're going to be reviewing this beer. Now, this is a Brewdog beer. Now, I admit that I'm not a massive fan of Brewdog. I mean, a lot of people's probably journey into craft beer started with a punk IPA, but to be honest, I haven't really had one since then. It's not the best beer, and let's face it, they do Elvis juice. It's grapefruity. Yeah, it's all right, but it's nothing special. They do Hazy Jane. It's a hazy New England IPA. Should like that one. Yeah, but there's so many more better IPAs, New England style, in the supermarket. So again, I'm not going to drink that. Then they bring out a few of their stouts. Yeah, we've had a few on the channel. We had the layer cake, bit sweet, all right, not great. They've got a nitro oat cream. I think it's an oat cream nitro stout, which I actually haven't had. I should really get that reviewed on the channel because I reckon I might like that one because I like nitro stouts more. But again, they're in every supermarket. They've obviously, we've had this collaboration with Cloudwater that they pretty much brewed all the Cloudwater stuff that was in Tesco's. And obviously, without getting into too much detail, they've also been shouted out a bit because of the some bad sort of workplace practices and the sort of, lots of people have come out and said that it's not the greatest place to work. So they're not getting a good bit of press at the moment, whereas Brewdog generally get great press. They do, they say that every beer that they brew, they plant a tree and all that sort of stuff. They've done some great marketing sort of campaigns. But at the end of the day, I think their beer is very average. And I haven't had a really great beer. However, this Duopolis, which is a oat cream double dry hop IPA, what does it say? Yeah, hopped up modernist milkshake, it says. And then so you can buy this in a pack just like this one, 4 cans of this for £5. So I thought I'll give it a try. And like you might have seen a review a couple of days ago for Alpaca by Salt. It's another one which I have drank this before, and this, spoiler alert, is quite a good beer actually, and it's the sort of beer that I like to have in the fridge, for when I think, I need a beer and I don't want one of the ones I'm going to review, or I don't want a bigger beer, I just want a nice, quick, short little beer. This is a quite a nice one. So let's crack it open, put it in a glass, and I'll explain to you why I think it's pretty good, really. I mean, milkshake IPAs, usually that warning signs when I see that, because I think, God, what are they putting in it, and is it going to be too it's got milk in it, and I don't think that's great. But I'm not sure if this has got lactose in it. The can, the ingredients on the can is incredibly difficult to read. But it has got lactose in it. I can see lactose in it. But obviously it's oat cream, so it's got a lot of oats in it as well. So beer in a glass, it's a sort of hazy, I suppose it's a yellowy orange, one finger of white. I wouldn't say very compact, quite sort of loosely packed bubbles there. It's quite a bit carbonated. It looks lovely in yellow. Let's get the aromas. Smells good though. It's really like pineapple and grapefruit. They're the two big sort of aromas. Smells really sort of citrusy, really sort of fresh, and it's going to be a real zesty, it's not going to be a real thick, fruity, almost sort of chewy type of fruit flavors, but it's just enough in there to know that it's got that nice sort of light tropical sort of aroma. Smells pretty good and very inviting. Let's get tucked in. Cheers, everyone. Yeah, I mean, as I said, I've had this beer before. I like it because the aromas bring the flavours being similar. So you've got a big hit of pineapple, then you've got a nice sort of subtle, sort of very sort of sharp grapefruit sort of flavour. And it's got a really sort of, although there's quite a lot of carbonation in there, because it's obviously an oat cream milkshake IPA, it has quite a sort of thickish body, which is a bit of an oxymoron really, because usually when you've got high levels of carbonation, you get quite a thin body, and on the other hand, if you've got quite a nice thick gloopy body, you usually got low levels of carbonation. But this somehow manages to do both of those things. It's obviously the oat cream in it that just gives it that really good body, but it's light enough in the fact that you feel you could drink this for days. It's one of those sort of beers that's just what you want on a hot summer day. You can just drink a few of these, and it's like the alcohol on this. I think it's, what did I say it was? Did I say it? I don't know if I said it. It's 4.7%. So in terms of alcohol, I think it's just at the right sort of sweet spot to make it sessionable. And I could sit on a Friday or Saturday night and drink 4 of these and feel like I've had a few beers, but not overdone it really. It's at the right sort of level, and being in the small cans, it goes down a treat. But is it as good as other beers in supermarkets? That's the question, isn't it? It's not. I mean, it's not as good as Alpaca as a beer, standalone beer. It is not as good as Alpaca. It's not as good as the Northern Monk ones. It's not as good as the 505 by Tiny Rebel, another one of my favourites in Sainsbury's. It's just sometimes you just want a beer that is just good, and don't have to think about it too much. You don't have to sit and savour it. You just sit and drink and enjoy it. It reminds me of, when I drink in, say, a lager, like my favourite Aldi lager, this is 1079 Project. It's one of those beers that I just drink it and go, yeah, I remember that taste the last time I had it. It's really good. It's consistently a good lager, and it just slides down, and I don't really think about it. I don't really think about what flavours I'm getting, how it compares with other lagers. I just drink it to enjoy it. And that's really what this beer does. But if you're watching this channel, you're probably not new to the craft beer scene, and you're like me, you've probably tried some of the beers that we've reviewed on the channels and other similar beers. But if this one sort of slipped you by because you've got your opinion on Brewdog, give it a go. Or if you've had it before, let me know in the comments what you think, because I think it's a very solid beer. It doesn't do anything too remarkable, but sometimes you just want a beer that you can just crack open, pour into a glass, drink down, enjoy, not worrying that is it going to be too strong, not worried about whether you've got it at the right temperature. I cracked this one out pretty much straight from the fridge. It's cold, it's pineapple-y, it's grapefruit. It's a good look. It's a good beer. So let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for Duopolis by Brewdog. It's that good. I mean, it's a small little can, so I thought I'd crack open another one to just fill my glass up a bit more, so I can really sit and enjoy it. I mean, it's just one of those beers that you just crack open another can, pour it in, you think, yeah, it's still good. It's still good. I don't know if I'm going to get a little bit of hate from this because it's Brewdog, and it's I know it's probably been around a while, so I'm really interested to know your opinions. But let's go through the scores because they're quite good, quite high ones actually. The first thing, Aroma. So you crack it open, pour it in. It's pineapple all day long. You've got this nice pineapple aromas, and then there's a little bit of grapefruit in there on the back end. And then it's all sort of enveloped in this sort of citrus of lemons and limes. And that's really it. There's not really much else in terms of the aromas. Definitely pineapple and grapefruit are the big aromas there. I don't know why I decided to have another taste of it. It's very Moorish in terms of a beer. So I'm giving it 15 for Aroma. Appearance-wise, well, it's a hazy, yellowy, pineapple-y colour sort of a beer. You've got, it's got a nice little bit of froth on there, a little bit of, in terms of the head. And I think, that's the oats really giving it that real haziness. And I think it's pretty good. I'm giving it a solid 8 out of 10. Flavour-wise, well, like the aromas, you've got this nice big hit of pineapple, and it's really the main sort of flavour, really. You've got pineapple, and then you get this grapefruit sort of just sort of coming in on the back end, giving it a slight bit of zesty bitterness. And then there's other citrusy fruits in there, like lemons and limes as well. It's really, really sort of fresh and zesty and very easy to drink. The mouthfeel, though, it glides down really well. It's a little bit carbonated, more than you would expect from an oat cream milkshake type of IPA. But it's got a really nice sort of medium to thick body. And I think there's lots of oats gone in this, and it just makes it a much easier drink to drink down. And I think it really makes the beer, it elevates the beer to another level. So flavour-wise, I'm giving it 35. I think it's just got a really nice flavour. It's not, it's not too overly complex. It's just really pleasant. It's just, it just glides down lovely. It's the sort of flavours that I like. I like pineapple flavours in the beer, and it doesn't try and do. It's not too strong. It's not too hop forward. And in certain times when you want to drink a few beers, you want to session a few beers, then this is a perfect beer. So I'm going to 35 flavour, value for money. Well, yeah, I mean you can buy four of these, for a £5. So that works out £1.25 a can. I think they're small cans, but that's a cracking value. When you think, you buy one can and you can pay £3.50 in Sainsbury's, for example. Yeah, it's a 440ml can, but you before you know it, you bought two of those, you spent £6. Buy four of these, you want a nice little, 4 beers on a Friday night. Perfect, £5. I think it's cracking value, so I have to give it 10 out of 10. And then my overall experience, well, I gush a little bit about this beer. It's not up there. It's not the sort of beer that you want to just drink all the time. But it's just one of those beers that's so inoffensive, but it does what it should do really, really well. It's like your favourite lager just on a hot summer day. You just want to drink it down and not think too much about what flavours you get. You're just enjoying it for the refreshment of it, just sitting in the sun and enjoying it. And this is a lovely beer. It's very summery, it's tropical, but it's got a nice, real oaty, creamy sort of mouthfeel, which really sort of gives it that, just makes it very easy to drink and more pleasant. And I'm surprised because I'm not a massive fan of Brewdog beers. Usually they are, it's quite similar in the fact that this beer is sort of, it doesn't do anything outstandingly special. It just does everything really well, and it's a beer for a certain time and a moment, when you want to drink it. And that sort of may be typical of Brewdog, but I think there's nothing too artificial in the flavourings. There's no, there's some milk in there, there's a lot of oats in there. I don't think there's any sort of pineapple juice in there. I should really check that, but I'm sure there isn't. It's double dried hops. It's got that nice sort of dryness on the back end as well. It's got ridiculous ingredients. Oats. No, I don't. No, it's got lactose in it, but it's got oats in it, obviously. But there is no sort of pineapple concentrate or puree or whatever, or any other adjuncts like that. So it's a really great beer, but it's not going to win any awards. So I'm giving it, for my overall experience, because I'd buy it again, because I have bought it again. And yes, I'm buying 4 beers, and I enjoy all 4 of them in the pack. I don't think, I don't save 1 or 2 for the last. I usually drink all 4 of them together. And that's quite rare, I think, for craft beer. Certainly a lot of the other beers, I wouldn't really buy 2, 3 of them and drink them one after the other sort of thing. So I'm going to get 15 for overall experience. So we top those scores up, and I've given it a highly recommended 83. I don't think there'll be a Brewdog beer that will get anywhere near that sort of score. And I do think, is it a really stunning beer? I've reviewed beers that I've really enjoyed that have had a lower score than this, but I think it just works. It's great value for money. It's light and it's refreshing and it's inoffensive in lots of ways, but in other ways it's just a really good example of craft beer. And if you're starting off in craft beer, I think this is a much better starting point than, say, a punk IPA, because it's just got, it's almost more like some of the other craft beers. If I started drinking that first and then I would really get into the New England styles, because it's definitely on that sort of level with that soft mouthfeel, low levels of bitterness. 83 then, cracking beer. But I'm really interested to see what you think. What's your favourite Brewdog beer? Do you have any favourites? Do you find that you're a craft beer connoisseur now and you wouldn't touch the likes of Brewdog or, you know, the other big ones like Tiny Rebel with a barge pole now, you know, you're more into your £6-7 beers, and you don't want to buy them from supermarkets. But this, to me, is a really good beer. So check it out, Brewdog, and it's called Duopolis. It's an oat cream double dry hopped IPA, 4.7%. 4 of these for a £5, cracking value, great looking beer. So, hope you enjoyed that video, and until the next one, keep on rocking.